Good evening. Thank you for tuning in again on this great Tuesday. We are so grateful that you have took the time and to wake up and get this day started and get it started on the right way. You're featuring with Wayne Foster with this the CEO um, business, um, and also the owner of the company. Um, and some of you have been following me and watching me on the last Tuesdays during the day or whether it's been afternoon. And you're featured with the WC Property Investment, which we deal in building and also working on building wealth. And so my greatest thing is to always say, let's build wealth. Let's begin to start where are we going and where are we looking. As you watching today's telecast, where you are viewing this, maybe it may be in your home, or maybe you're viewing me on your smartphones or your laptop. Wherever you're viewing this um, show, that we're talking about how to build wealth, how to get in wealth, how to know what to build, know what to do. We have talked about a lot of things over the last couple Tuesday, and we're giving you this introduction again to let you know what we're doing. We last Tuesday we talked about building a wealth. We talked about blueprints. So we got the plan down, and we've been starting to work this blueprint out. And so today's subject is going to be how to take your blueprint and knowing your square footage, knowing how to calculate those square footage, so you'll know how big you want your house to be. And so I have showed you on last time on my show of a blueprint. I showed you the way the house is going to be built, and as we get into this project, you'll get to see us, start from the foundation and then move from the foundation, move into the subfloor, from the subfloor, the walls, from the walls, the OSB, from the OSB to the rafters or trusses. It's depending on what you want to build. And so to build anything, it's good to have your blueprint. It's good to have the blueprint. It's good to have it on paper. So that way you're knowing the actually of the rooms. It's what we call a floor plan. It gives me dimensions of my rooms. It gives me where my room's at, where is the bathroom, the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room. So these floor plans that I have in my hand have two floors, two stories, as we call it. It will have an upstairs and a downstairs. And so in the planning of these blueprints and we plan this is how these blueprints started. And like I said, they started by going to a person that draws blueprints or the architect. And after you sit down with that architect, and the architect gives you a pretty much ways that it's gonna be. Typically, it will give you to on a regular sheet of paper, and you can see it, the way the floor plan looks, and then after you see how the blueprints look, then it normally will give you a vision of it. It's so you can see how it looks on paper, and so to get your idea of if you didn't want the windows, the doors this way, if you want it another way, which is then you can instruct that. This is what's so good is putting on paper. Um, but the blueprint gives us again just the floor plan or the way we want our house to be, and that way you then will know how to um, in the square footage. Excuse me. So we're gonna go into this. This is what today's subject is gonna be on to. Is knowing our square footage. How do we determine that square footage? I'm gonna write down some things, and I'm gonna tell you how to add these square footage up so you can get the typical square footage. And we're going to use these blueprints that was given to me to look over, and also make sure the blueprint's going to be exactly the way the owner wants it before the architect to finish sketching it. Finish it before he finished the blueprints, the drawing. And so it's got to be, you got to make sure all that is in plan or in the place, because when you get this to me for me to build it, or somebody else to build your house that you want to be built, it's got to be in a place that it's have already got the on out. I didn't want the bedroom on this side. I didn't want this, and that's where you can go and you can ax out things and put things in the plan that you want it to be into. And so this is where I'm giving to you of what I normally in building to my house. I would do this process with them. I would, we'll take initiatives to, sit down with my architect, and we begin to do, really figure this out for them, and then give them that step so that way they don't, because I know a lot of times people don't understand. This is why we're building our wealth. This is why we build these broadcasters. This is why we build these TV networks. And so you can get the information. We're here not to, waste time. We're not here to, figure out what's right and what's not right. We're here to give you the best ability to knowing where you're going at, the best ability to know what you got. And so if what we're doing now that we gave the opportunity to so many people, I'm taking this opportunity to come on my TV network, which is the Power God Broadcast Network, something that is our network. I am, again, the owner of my TV network. And so that was built through us. And so now we give you the opportunity to come on, which we have now in Roku, the 20 channels that you can, go on Roku, and you can, start, which is you're viewing this maybe on Facebook or YouTube and not know anything about Roku TV. But you have the opportunity to do that, to be in the areas, to knowing where you watching our TV shows on, or the platforms. And so what I'm giving you today is what's calling our channel, where I'm teaching you how to build wealth and how to get into the ability of stretching, that ability to knowing where you can go and get and do. So this opportunity is giving you information. So it's good to get free information. And so I'm giving this every Tuesday, which you'll get something to deal with how to build wealth, or how to get into, which is this subject is going to be on building a house and what the steps you got to do to build that house. And we're going into some of the details that you'll need. And so I told you I was bringing a blueprint, so I done that. So now we have this blueprint laid out in front of me. And so let's go through some of the things that you look on the blueprint, and some of the things that you have to be careful, or really pay attention to what you want. And we don't as the builder or as the guy that joined the blueprints, don't tell you what you want. You got to tell us what you want. And we can make it happen by sitting down with you and giving you more ideas or more thinking process so you can understand. A lot of times people, come to us and, they just they want it and just don't know how to do it. And sometimes you go to the realtor and the realtor, gives you a plan that the builder gave them. This is what the house is going to be. You got your lot, and now this is the house that's going to be put on that lot. But you have no idea. And when they show you the blueprints, really what's going on, really what's taking place. And I want to, give this to my watchers, the people that's following me, people that's, coming under my wings. Taking the initiative to go beyond what you want and bring it to reality that here it is. And so this is geared to square footage tonight. How to add up those square footage of the house that you want. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of a blueprint that's in front of me. One that I showed you that we have. And then when I get the actual, when we get finished, putting this together, don't have the blueprint. I bring it and I have it in back of me. And to let you know, this evening, around about 6 o'clock, I will be back on my Let's Build Wealth channel. And I'm going to deal on The Power to Get Wealth is the name of the channel. But we're talking about building wealth in different ways. So if you come back on this afternoon around about 6 o'clock, stay tuned to the same channel that you're watching me on. I'm going to come back later on this afternoon. And I'm going to deal on another business partner, another venture that we're working with. So a lot of you heard me say in the previous of my 2D classes that I've been, working with you and help you build wealth and different things. And I told you that we're going to do some things out on the field where you actually see me talk to people that we have brought on the network and have given them a free of their program or their plan of how to bring that alive, And so they do have their blueprints already drawn out. It's already ready for me. I have took a look at those blueprints. I have also, have took the time to, go over them. But tomorrow in that interview, at 6 o'clock interview with that shelter, and they get ready to build 10 townhouses. And so I'll talk about, again, square footage. I'll tell you how we got the square footage of that building size. And so you're sitting, listen to me this morning, excuse me. And you see how we take the square footage. So if you see me, looking down, it's me that's trying to look at the square footage and get the numbers so you can understand how these numbers happen or how you can start figuring out you. You could then take a piece of paper, and I'm going to do that right now. I got a piece of paper in front of me, and we're going to take this piece of paper and we're going to typically show you how to do it. You can, and we all learned this when we was in school, how to make a square box. And that's all you need to do is to make that square box. Making that square box, in that square box, then you can, Timothy, you might not be the greatest drawer. You might not be the greatest one that people can understand your drawing, but you give us an idea. We could take that idea and really put that thing together for you. And so into that, when you do that, you then say I like it for it to be. Um, let's say we would like for it to be 30 by 20. Okay, so if I have my house and I want it to be 30 wide, excuse me, 30 long. Let me correct myself. 30 long, and I want it 20 feet wide. So we then will put decimal right beside that to let me know that this is, normally there's one decimal beside it. It stands for 1 feet. If it's 2, it means inches. And so when you write it down, if you were to say 20 by 30, and I saw that, I know those are feet. If I saw 2 of them beside each other, I knew that was the inches. So I would know if I'm just saying this because we're learning how to calculate our square footage. And so if I was seeing that, and then I was seeing 34 dash dash, then I will know that this is 30 feet by 34 inches, because I do now see that I have a 30 point, which let me know that's 30 feet. Then I also see 34, and I see the 2 dots, which is let me know those are inches. So once I come, here it goes again. I have the square box. Here gives me my feet, which is 35.0. There's the dots. It goes again. Just so you know, there's no inches in this square footage, so I don't have to calculate that. I will have to calculate those inches also, and that's a different way to do that. And a lot of times we do that to adding and then subtracting to get the inches to actually put those square footage into my floor plan, which is knowing the floor I want. So you play with those numbers to give you, if I want. Then we're gonna go to this and get some true numbers now. And if I do that, remember I said that if I want my house to be a 35 by 20, which get me at the bottom, it should give me over 600 and something. Now we got also know this is 2 stories, so upstairs is gonna be a freaking of different. So I have a staircase. So typically what I would do is I would take the number, which is 35 times 20, then it's going to give me that square footage for the bottom floor. Okay, then when you're doing 2 stories, then you take that same number, and typically if it's a square like on a house with no bump outs or nothing like that, typically you're gonna get the actual square footage of the house, because then you have to determine if it was bump outs on it, and I didn't have to add up those square footage also, which give you another way. So if I had another room coming out of my house, and I'll make that room be, again, let's say if we make the room 10 by 10, and while we're figuring the square footage out, and we're figuring out the feet of our house, you also want to take in the planning of this. that when you do this, you have to make sure when you're figuring out your square footage and you're figuring out the room size of what you want, because that's going to determine how big or long you want the house. So, and to add those square footage up is the knowing, a lot of times people don't know what is a 12 by 12 room, what is a 10 by 12 or 10 by 11. A lot of times people don't have that vision to see it. And sometimes it is hard to really visualize that, of how to really see that. But when you get an idea, when you normally talk to me, or you talk to a builder, or you talk to another one that's drawing, you can give you a pretty idea of how big that room might look like after it's been built, and you can focus on that. So what I'm gonna do now is let's figure out the square footage of the house, typically, so you can understand how to get it. So I'm getting to my calculator. So if I in the calculator, I would then know that I want this house that I'm looking at now. We're gonna do and then we're gonna do actually on the blueprint, which this square footage is, and see can we come up with the same square footage that my one that draw the blueprints, because you calculate a couple of things out of that. And that's what I was saying earlier. Thank you. It came back to me. So when you figure out the square footage on, like, this house has a staircase. So I'm gonna have to take out this staircase, because square footage is not added in square footage. Square footage is living space. And I know some of you say, well, the staircase is a part of the house because it's in the house, but they consider that the staircase is not a part of a living space. Where, like, you live in your bedrooms and you're in your living room down. That's a part like living. They call it living. So the staircase is not. So they won't add that square footage. They will take that square footage out. Because actually, when you add up these square footage on this house, and if I did 35 by 20, it would give me 700 square foot in this house. All right. But then the architect put down, let me find it real quickly. The architect put down 66.1 square footage, 661 square footage. So what he did is he took out the stairs, which is typically I had to take out the 3 feet by hold on, because I didn't draw these. So let me take us pretty much, if we take out the staircases. So if I take out the staircase that he got in here, which is it would be 3 feet. Here we go again. We got to put the decimal point in this, because now it's telling me I have 3 feet, 0.4. I got 3 feet, point. Okay. Then it gave me 4 with the decimal point beside it, which is letting me know that there is just an inches in there. So now I have to also calculate that also. So then I could then determine them square footage. Now, typically, it's not for you to. I'm only just giving this because we're talking about how to calculate square footage on a house. How do I know that these feet is what I want, or how can I come up with a number that, typically you go to somebody and say, well, how much do you charge me to build a 1,200 square foot home? And normally the builder might say, I charge you $120 per square foot. So then you would take that square footage, then you'll put 12 times 120. All right. So then he typically would charge you because it would typically would charge you that for to start to finish. Let me put it that way, because if I was just framing it, then I would just charge you for that square footage, which it will be again a couple $100 square footage. It should probably will come to about 11, maybe 11. If we say let's do a 12 by 12. 1,200 square foot house. Okay, I'm gonna be typically anywhere from 12,000 to frame that house. So, and the only thing I'm there is just to put the floor in, the walls up, in the roof, wrap it, windows. I'm out. Okay, but if I would be the contractor on this whole project, then that number would change to anywhere from 300 to 500 to 1,000. It's depending on the house. You're talking about square footage. So then my typical price would then be anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000. Is because then not only just I'm just building this, I'm framing this, I am the one that's taking the whole project and going from the foundation, framing, drywall, siding, plumbing, electricity, heating, air, all is in this scope of the work that needs to be done to build this house. So, and understanding that is that now we need to understand that's why it's important to get your square footage. It's important to know those square footage is because everybody that comes under me asking you what is the square footage. The heating air guy, he just putting heating air in your house. Well, he need those square footage, so then he know how to determine how much unit, whether it be a half ton, a ton unit in your house. So that means you can have the right proper heat and the right proper air conditioning. The square footage it is all through the process of this house. Carpet needs square footage. Putting shingles on, square footage. Siding, square footage. Plumbing, well, typically don't need the square footage. He just needs to know how many feet here so he can buy his pipe. Electrician, sometimes electrician charge you hour rate, or they'll charge you square footage rate. So here it goes again. Square footage is a very key point you need. You need to know your square footage. You need to know the size. It can look beautiful, or you would like it, blue, purple, red, white, black shadows, whatever. All that's good. But a house cannot be really built without the square footage. It's just impossible. Without square footage, you ain't got a house because we have no numbers. You have no feet. So that is the greatest key that we need the square footage for. And so as we go into this and learn this process, we're giving you the ability of how to figure those square footage out, how to know how to determine them. And so I hope that I've given you that great plan of those square footage. My time is up. I spent a half an hour with you already. I'm coming back again this afternoon with the person that we're going to help build the project. So we'll get deeper in some more square footage. I will tell you what their square footage and add the square footage up. If you did get it, we went to our plan of our paper. I told you it's a typical house. It's my square footage. I did and real quickly, as I'm down to a minute, I can really figure this out real fast. So I can tell you what's my sheet of my new house I want. I want my house to be 30 by 20. So this is 600 square foot house. Okay. So now I know how much to go to my builder or whoever and tell them what my typical how big my house is. Then we can tell me how big the rooms need to be. And remember, we added on a bump out on a house, and it was a 10 by 10, which is 100. So typically, while we know that number, we'll do the same thing again. For you people that knows your math, good. 10 times 10 is 100 square foot. So we got to put that 10 and under, and so we add that will give us 700 square foot. So we got our main house, which is what is 30 by 20 with 600 square foot. Then we got our bump out. You know, I said earlier about the bump out. So you still got to add that, because then this become a added square footage, which is a living space. So then when you add that, you know, you go to sell the house, or you go to, you know, finance it, whatever. They're gonna ask you what the square footage, the living square footage is, and you can tell them I have the main house is 20. How do we know that it? How do we know that it was 30 feet? Because we know there was one decimal beside it, which let me know that is the 30 of square footage. Interest will have been 2. So we hope that you have learned something today on square footage on the Let's Build Wealth channel with Wayne Foster from the WC Property Investment. I will be back again this afternoon, going over again the square footage with another people that would be on I will be airing with them on the project. So we'll go over a little bit more depth on square footage of some of their rooms. I have an hour with them. So I just want to always give you the good thinking of building wealth, and how to get to a wealth state is when we build wealth. And so I appreciate again that you have always tuned in. You have always, you know, give us your time. You give us your ability. You give us things that we love to do, and tell you how that we can build wealth. And I always say, if you want to reach us, you want to get in contact with me, I will give you the office number. It's area code 302-760-9274. Call me and say, I would like to be a partaker with Wayne Foster and Let's Build Wealth, and get some information. Well, you call me, and maybe you say, you know, I would like to venture in some things, and you want to venture with us. Call us. You know what I mean? Pick up the phone, dial area code 302-760-9274. Or you can also email me at wcproperty2013-2@gmail.com. And then you can also reach out to us and say, hey, I just want to be a partaker of Let's Build Wealth with Wayne Foster. And I tell you, until I come back again, remember, let's build wealth, and we build it together. And the only way we build it together, we got to stay together